Hey family, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Cut Nice 50, and welcome to One-on-One with Cut Nice 50. If you're new to the channel, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Today, man, we got another amazing video featuring Prophetess Reed. This is going to be our first episode of Celibacy, and we went into a lot of amazing topics. Yes, we know that celibacy it has many definitions when it comes to abstaining or celibacy, but I believe personally it's a vow to God, and you have different ways that we all want to reach Him. Our walk is all different. And Prophetess Reed, man, she did an amazing interview. So I'll put her social media link so y'all can contact her in the description section below. Go ahead and jump into it, from childhood trauma to raising kids to acting, modeling, to the reality of what we see going on in the world today. We went over so many amazing topics, and I'm pretty sure you're going to go ahead and enjoy it. So make sure y'all join the channel, help us grow and reach more people like yourselves to help build up the kingdom. And let's connect. We are a community, we are a family, and we all believe in God. So stay tuned. It's your host, Cut Nice 50. And with that, we out.
I totally agree.
Yes, indeed. It's getting worse and worse.
So how old is your daughter?
She's 20.
Okay.
And I have a son. He's 28, and he has autism.
Okay. How was that? Was that challenging?
Oh, yes. Definitely challenging.
You say he's 28?
Yes, he's 28. And he's the sweetest. He's the sweetest person.
I bet he is. You're right. My oldest 26, going on 27 this year. So very close. My youngest son, besides his new one, is 19. So it's right around the same ages.
We seem to have the same kind of career path that we had in one aspect, two aspects. A few aspects.
Hey, a lot of aspects when you love the Lord. So, you know.
And also, I've been in the acting field.
Mm-hmm.
I did a few. I've been in a few Christian plays in the church, and I also was a background actress in a Lassie movie. Back in the 90s. So
there you go.
Yes, I love the film industry. I love that, working in that.
And I say, I did stage plays also. I played a pastor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and one before I got into like the screenplay and other little shows. But the last couple of years pre-COVID, I turned down so many roles because it compromised my morals. And I can't do it, if I don't believe in it, or I think, I got young children. I can't have them seeing that because I don't myself use profanity. I'm not going against it a little bit in some certain roles, but it's not natural to me because that's not my regular dialogue.
Right.
So
I really understand. Yes, I don't understand why it's even needed.
Yeah, no, for some people, and like I said, I don't use it. I don't I don't see the need for it like you're saying, but I think it's more of an act. It's a dramatic effect that most people get. Like, what's his name? Comedian who used to cuss all the time before he passed. Dark skin.
Oh, you talking
Bernie
about
Mac. You know how Bernie Mac used to use it, and it comes across, so we get it. And I'm from the South, so I get it. I understand it. But when I like Tiffany Montgomery, I always send her a message. She used to use it. I haven't seen it lately. And I gotta say, everybody got their own journey, but I thought she used it for dramatic effect, just for that point, and not necessarily like a condescending or a negatory kind of way. But I know that's your younger generation picks up with it. But, I myself, I just don't believe in using it just to lure people to God or whatever the case. That's just not my ministry or the way I like doing things. But I I don't judge or criticize them for doing it their way because it's not my path. They have their own journey they're going through. So that's one of the things. But I do like her. When it comes to biblical sound stuff, we're aligned with a whole lot of stuff.
Right. Right.
You know, and we all do things that's unique to us. You know, our gifts could be similar, but our paths are still different. I tell people all the time, you know, get a sheet of paper and write down how many things that we have alike and how many things is different. And it's going to be a whole list.
Right.
You know, besides the biological stuff, they don't even take into account. If you just do about that biologically, it's, you know, nothing else to compare, you know, from our makeup as humans. So I just, what you think about the news that's going on now? I know they had the guy Charlie Kirk, and I didn't know too much about him myself. Even
heard about him. My daughter told me, and I didn't even, I had never heard of him myself.
You heard of Candace Owens? Apart.
Oh, yes.
You know, he was her best friend. So they kind of grew up together in that aspect. I don't think they're politicians, but they political advocates or whatever they go through, the turning point and stuff like that. Yeah. So, you know, but I know I seen some things in it, and I get a lot of division that's going on because I think he was a Christian, but he was some kind of named Christian. I don't know what you call it. You know, it's all kind of subtitles now going on with it, but he was supposed to be one of those a different type of Christian. But he does use a lot of condescending and derogatory statements towards people, but he'll say their specific name and have the facts to prove it. But myself, like I told people before, I just don't agree with it. I can't support it, but he is speaking some facts on certain things, but you still can't talk down or talk bad about somebody to get your point across. As a believer, that's my own personal belief. I don't think it's a need for it, you know. So I try to tell people, what would Jesus do? Would he say the same things? You know, I get Paul used to talk, I think, in their language, harsh to some people at times. But I was like, you're not Paul, you know. We're not nowhere near that type of, or if it's your assignment, then that's a one thing. But if you're doing it for personal reasons, then that's something else. You know, just say that this is my own personal belief. And don't mix, you know, pretty much God or religion into it on that aspect.
Right. I think I believe in the church should be separate from politics.
Yeah, I 100% agree with. So we align on a lot itself. You know, I don't think I know at that time they did have some prophets or, you know, working with the church, but I don't think politics is designed to be how it is now. You know, the people are the voice. We actually supposed to be over the politicians now. They take the orders from us, but it's flipped now in today's time. So I think they put the old spell on everybody just to make it work because it's no unity. You know, we're not united to actually hold these people accountable for whatever reason, whether they're on the left side, right side, or in the middle. I was raised as a Democrat, but I never, you know, your whole family, normally they just tell you to vote blue or whatever else in my household, and especially in the South. You don't even know who it is, who even running, and you just click the check all box or whatever the case. But I always was drawn to independent people because I believe in bipartisanship, unity itself. So, you know, today I don't do no politics, but I can't, I see both sides wrong in my opinion because there's no unity. Somebody do one thing and then the other one go back, tear it down, but it's not working for the people. It's actually hurting the people and keeping us divided. So I don't trust in politics. I just tell people, you know, I'm going to accept the fact, whatever comes with it, but my faith is in God. He runs my life. He's the head of my household. So I only going to worship him, and I'm not going to worship these politics because regardless, we still have to do what we have to do for our families and just keep moving. That's just our life, our path. But I seen people, if they voted for the wrong side, people got divorced, they broken up relationships.
Cousins against each other, uncles against each other, aunts against each other.
And I was like,
sisters and brothers.
The Bible clearly says, I was like, they're doing it on purpose. I see, you know, I've been blessed to always see signs in everything. So I was like, I see the signs with it. I seen it with COVID. That was like a test thing. and so many people, it's like pure racism, placism, whatever you want to, everything was taken in full effect, and they accomplished what they had to. And now you had the election, which bridged the gap even more. You had the George Floyd situation, which made it even worse, the black versus blue and stuff. And I tell people all the time, if I seen that, I wouldn't have let it happen. That's just my own personal thing. I've been in law enforcement over 25 years. I didn't do the street just because of that effect. I knew dirty cops. I'm from South Carolina, but we all try to make our difference the way we want to, not just necessarily doing it for a paycheck, So if I didn't agree with certain things, I can't participate in it. That's just me personally.
Right. Yeah, you got to take a stand for what's right. You got to take a stand.
But I did start.
If you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for everything.
Yes, ma'am. So, how about, have you been dating like on your journey?
I have. I've had some interesting situations.
What was the hardest part?
Well, just being the rejection.
Yeah.
That when you take a stand for holiness, you're gonna go through some things.
Yeah,
sometimes,
right.
And it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be a challenge. And that was one of my hardest things that I faced was rejection. And because not everybody understands your choice.
Mm-hmm. And that was the hardest hardship you had on your celibacy journey? Just the rejection part?
It's also pressure, like pressure from society.
Yeah.
And it just makes, people think that they're odd or strange. And I've had to just overcome that.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, I get it. You want to stick true to your values, but you got other people saying something wrong with you. And you can actually I met some good people who I could have been in a relationship if I did tell them what was going on. But my vow was not to say anything to anybody. But they was actually amazing individuals. It just wasn't the time for it. That is a hard part, like for myself, that I struggle with is, not being able to tell somebody, sticking true, going through it. But I know my vow was bigger than just me. I had a mission, a goal to try to do it, and it kind of consumed everything I was doing because I wanted to get my pops the best treatment that he can. So relationships was out. That wasn't even in my mindset until I ended up meeting my wife. My pops was like, just give her a chance, hear her out. And I was like, I ain't got no time for that. I'm not trying to. And I didn't expect nothing, but he was just, having a conversation and stuff like that. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even been with him. So that was just, I tell her that all the time, but she know. But it was like prophesized from my ex. She said she always used to consult with angels. She had a vision. And one day, and she was like, I was on the beach walking, and she seen I was walking. I was happy. And I was walking to a young lady, and both of them names start with a K, and they had big hair. But the person turned around, and she knew it wasn't her. We ended up splitting, and I ended up getting her saved because she never been saved. She came from up north, and she never knew what love was. Her parents ain't say love, and I'm from the South, so we're lovey-dovey. So she had held on to that, and she told me that. And once we split, that actually occurred on me when me and my wife got married. We went to Puerto Rico, and I was walking towards her, and she had on the same outfit, hat that she described in her vision. So I tell people, it's no denying for me what God has done for myself and for others that I can actually see. So some people don't believe in it, but I tell them you just got to keep believing. So what kind of accomplishments that you achieved so far when you was on your celibacy journey?
Well, been able to encourage and inspire others, especially young people. Yeah, people need to hear just the truth. What's going? I tell them straight out. Living a celibate lifestyle is possible.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's purposeful. It's purposeful, and it's honorable to God. So,
yeah, I agree with it. I think that's one of the best things we can do. I know a lot of people, they just don't believe in that. They, they have their own desires, and we about temporary stuff. We don't think about the long-term effects and stuff like that, but it's all possible.
It's possible. Yes.
So
it's also helped me to see myself through God's eyes. Yes, instead of seeking validation from relationships or the world.
Yeah, that's one thing I talk about. We all have a desire to be noticed at times, to be accepted, to reach some kind of success, whether it's not really fame, but some kind of success that whatever we're passionate with. We always had that desire to do that. But a lot of people misconstrue that for other reasons. But yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree.
Right. I'm telling you, and it also helps you build character, patience, and self-control.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, self-control is a beast for everybody. Because you got to think, a lot of people, especially now, we don't have it.
Yeah.
We have no self-control because we want this, we want that, and the world kind of makes you like that for to a certain extent. You can see shopping, all these ads, the targeting for the ads, whatever you go through, especially on your phone, you see it over and over again. It just gonna pop up. So it's like the repetitive emotion that makes you kind of give in to doing things. So I just tell people, just remain steadfast, hold on to your faith, your truth. It's not supposed to be easy. He tell us that all the time. It ain't supposed to be easy.
Worth it.
It is worth it. So who knows? Hopefully it's all recording just right. But we never know how this technology is, and if it ain't going all the way right, we'll do it over. So, because the message has to get out, and it was just practice to get us better for the next time. So, it just remind me, phone stuff, technology, Zoom, and then I think my Zoom said my calendar wasn't connected earlier. My 2-year-old, it was crazy.
Things were going on here too. I'm telling you.
My son, I kept him out of daycare today because he started like 15 minutes before he bawling, crying, and he want me to pick him up and stuff like that. And he don't act like that. He got a little phone. He normally good to go, but he didn't want me to put him down. And I'm like, I tell you, they're trying to prevent this blessing right here and this inspiration. But I was like,
before something good happens, I've noticed in the spiritual world, things start getting a little difficult. Things get kind of weird.
So you think that people are tested when they're getting ready to go through a breakthrough or something good? Is because I believe in balance itself. I think you have to be tested to get you prepared for the blessings you're about to receive. That's just me in general. A lot of people I can't see how even believers or people who claim to be Christians, they don't believe in demonic spirits or spiritual warfare. So I was like, are we reading the same Bible? Because because Jesus clearly talks about, the whole Bible clearly mentions spiritual warfare, but they just say it's metaphors. Like I even talked to some pastors, and they say it's metaphor. It's not no such thing as a spiritual warfare. And like nothing can shake my faith. But I did have a partner, and he was working with the church. He was like, I don't know what you call it, associate pastor or whatever the case. And he was having domestic disputes with his ex-wife, trying to go back, but he was trying to be an ordained pastor. And so he went through the school and he was doing everything for the church, and she was still, they was separated for a while, but they were supposed to be making amends, getting back together. The church pushes marriage. Okay, you have to make amends for what you did. You messed up in the past, whatever the case may be. So she gave him a chance, but she also had another boyfriend on the side. So you can imagine the turmoil and stuff like that he was going through. And she said she stopped. She said she stopped, but she didn't, and they was going back, and he started going through a dark hole. And I just told him, hey, this before I moved down to here to make my vow. I was like, I'm going to Atlanta. You can come with me. But eventually his story, which I really just now started sharing because it was on me for a little while. He went to the church. The church said, he told him, hey, I'm hearing voices or whatever the case. And of course he was military. So he checked himself in. He was like, I'm under spiritual attack right now. And he talked to me, and the pastor's like, it's no such thing as demonic spirits, and you're not under attack. But he said he was hearing it, and I could see him. He couldn't sleep like that. So he checked himself in the hospital. They ran all the exams on him because he was military and he was in law enforcement. So, of course, you don't want to have nothing like that going on and you have a weapon. So they ran all the tests, found nothing wrong with him. And, I always talk to him, counsel him, hey, just, I know what the church saying, but don't even worry about them. They're telling you one thing. I'm telling you, it is a God. It is spiritual warfare. Hold on, do everything we got to do. You can come stay with me. Don't even worry about it. Rent free, just starting a new life, started over. But eventually it ended in a double murder suicide. And he had a little girl. Because he's like, the church turned his back on him, and he loved the church. He loved his senior pastor, and they wouldn't give him no help. They turned their back on him. So
that's a problem. These pastors, some of these pastors don't have a deliverance ministry. They don't see the need for it. Or I've heard stories like that.
And this was weeks and months going on. So it wasn't like it was a quick thing because he wanted to get the help, And I thought he was, because before he was excited, he was back happy. Hey, I can't wait. We got a whole lot of stuff. We're talking about the future. And that next day I seen him, he kind of ignored me and went away. So I guess in your head, then I seen the suicide note, and I kept a picture of him, and I just started writing about him in one of my books. And, those emotions come up, but I was like, that's why you can't kind of idolize a pastor. I know he was getting help, but I know how that, you want your family to go through, and you think, yes, you did mess up, but they're pushing you because you want to be an ordained minister to make sure you amend your wife and you be together. And, it was just a conflict, and I would never think he would have did it because he had a daughter. And I think at that time she might have been 8 or something like that. And she was in school and he didn't pick her up. So now she don't have both parents, you know what I mean? So I was just, and I know I was coming up here to Georgia at that time. So this was right before 2016. And I was like, that broke my heart a little bit. I was like, I wasn't going to kind of talk about it too much because I was going to end up calling that church out, for not assisting their pretty much pastor, associate pastor, whatever his title was there. He dedicated his free time, no pay, whatever they needed, 12 hours, volunteer, you name it. He was doing everything they asked for him, plus more, on top of working, on top of taking care of his daughter, on top of trying to, counseling and mend the relationship with his ex-wife. Talk to him about the infidelity, whatever the case. And it was years ago that it happened. They split and they'd get back together and break up. And he wasn't seeing nobody else. So I tell everybody, if it gets to that point, I don't believe in divorce itself, but if you do make a mistake, then you got to answer those consequences. That's just me. Because that it can't go good. Now you're playing with somebody's life when it comes to stuff like that with marital disputes. So that's why I feel that passionate about marriage myself, because I've seen the hardships that it can cause people. I don't know about, what's your beliefs on that? You got ministers to go for help. Do you think he should have seeked out another spiritual leader?
I think so. I think so.
But how could he if that's your home? You going to
exactly.
The school, everybody else, you there. It's like it's home.
Right.
And then you get to praying and talking. But I get it, time, and I don't know exactly where it was located. But if it's close to you, how can you, would another even pastor even accept it? Hey, you just come to me talking about, this and that. Would they think something wrong? Because they did say, okay, I told them to admit itself. They didn't come see him at the hospital or nothing. And then after he got out, it was like they wouldn't, it's like no return calls or anything like that. So, and that's from what he told me. Now maybe they have a different story, but I was like, I don't think I can go by is what he was telling me, and I don't think he have a reason to lie. That's just why would you? And you giving pretty much your life for this church and everything that they need. You was trying to do your best to please God itself. And yeah, it was just a whole ordeal. But I do know there's some good pastors out there. I think in Atlanta, what's my guy named Philip Anthony Mitchell. I don't know what you think about him.
I've heard, but I haven't.
You haven't listened to him? Okay, yeah. I mean, he talks about his hardships that he went through. I think he said a video I watched the other day that his first 3 years of ministry, he suffered from depression and things like that. But he tell his congregation his struggles, so he was one of those type. I need God. I'm not the perfect Christian. I'm the Christian that I tell you that I'm nothing without him. So I need him. I'm never gonna be perfect, but spiritual warfare and things like that. But I think when he came down here, his ministry wasn't that good, and then God bless him, and it took off. People tried to shut down his churches, kicking him out of different buildings, and it just kept growing and growing. And I think now they got a permanent building now here in Georgia. I don't do big crowds. I do better with small congregations, and so I can get the message. I don't like the antics too much. I'm old school, so I don't. Do you like the mega churches and stuff like that?
To me, I need to be in fellowship. It's like you just in the mega churches, you don't have a lot of, it's more like I notice people just are like hi bye. Once they go to church, it's like hi, how you doing? And then they go on home. And then the pastor, I don't feel like
you even meet the pastor, right?
And security's around.
Yeah, I'm like you. I like more intimate settings, settings that you can actually congregate. You can talk to people. You get to actually know
the pastor.
You got the access. Not okay. You schedule a meeting and you got to wait 2-3 months before you even get a message or something like that, unless you tithing or donating for a certain cause. Then you get to meet them. So who knows? Every church is a little bit differently, but I didn't know some churches there was decent size, but I had access to the pastor. I think it was one of the biggest churches in South Carolina because he was a pastor, but my cousin was his godson. So he stayed right across the street from my aunt, so I knew him, and we grew up with his son, play ball and stuff like that. So that was the only situation that I knew from like I wouldn't call it a mega pastor because the church kept growing over the years, but it was big, but it wasn't like these T.D. Jakes Church and these Kenneth Copeland and all these Joel Osteen churches and stuff like that. It wasn't like that. I just don't believe in mega churches itself. I know they serve their purpose, and some of them could be righteous, but I used to just go to different churches just for the word, and I get the word. Yeah, wherever I go, And we used to church hop as a kid, going through, you don't name it, Catholic church, mosque. My mom, they wanted us to get some kind of spiritual lesson, and we used to military family, so it don't matter where it was. She wants you to go, so we used to go and we'd get in there and get the word and come out. From Jehovah Witness stuff to whatever. Every day it seemed like we was in some place trying to get a word for a while.
Right. Wow, yeah.
But then we found the home itself. So, but the Bible was always, available at our house. So, long as we got to read, and sometimes we couldn't go to a church, we didn't have a ride to go or stuff like that. But online didn't exist then, so. People got the luxury to sit home and just get on the computer or their phone and actually listen to the word, or download the Bible on their phone and use it.
Right.
But I have a love and hate for the cell phones also. Just because of the Wi-Fi stuff and your phone overheating. They saying the signals. It's not too healthy for you in general. And as a nutritionist, I looked up those reports. So I try not to get around or hold it. That's why I like the computer. It's a whole lot better for me.
Right.
But
exactly.
I ain't going to ramble on. You got any closing remarks, anything else you want to say to help inspire others who, if they want to choose celibacy, what kind of struggles that they might have to go through on their journeys, and just some tips that you didn't know until you started?
Well, just don't give in to temptation. Ask the Lord for strength to resist temptation. If you want to go on that journey, you have to be in prayer. I would suggest fasting too.
Yes, I love fasting. And what would you suggest? Intermittent fasts, or doing like a 2-day, 3-day? What kind of fast do you suggest, or you have done in your time?
I'm a little different. I could go a few days skipping meals, but some people have issues like with that. So I would suggest like a 2-day fast at first.
Just water only, right?
Water only.
Yeah, I did a 30-day a couple times, but I want to do a 45 one day. That's my goal. 45.
Okay. And I think that would be the best way to start. And if you feel like you can do more, do more.
Yeah. But I have a question. Like you said, you do the lifestyle coaching on the spiritual. I do it on the physical voice. Bodybuilders, athletes, even actors, models, whatever the case. I do that kind of coaching. And a lot of women, when it comes to their cycle and fasting, they have a lot of questions. I believe they still can do it, but I have a lot of questions. And since you're a woman who actually done it, how would you suggest a female handle fasting while they're on their cycle?
I hadn't started fasting until
your cycle stopped.
So
you never fasted earlier before then?
Well, when I was younger, that never occurred. I never had, like, the church I went to when I was younger, it was like a certain time in January, we went on a fast, and it was like for a week. I think it was like for a week, and we wouldn't eat from like 6 in the evening to like 6 the next evening.
Yeah.
And I never had an issue with the time of the month when that was going on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was some of the main questions I have. I just do it. Me, I'm like, you can do it regardless of it. I know you're losing nutrients, and because they get the hunger cravings a lot more. Hell, that's it. If you're getting more water, but because I always suggest increasing their water intake. So if they're getting a gallon or they're getting half a gallon, up it another half. So I'm a big believer in water to flush out your system, and you having no food. So as much water as you can get. That's what I should tell them. Just increase your water. I know you're gonna get hungry. Increase it. Well, I definitely
should do that anyway. Yeah, when a woman is on their cycle, it's good to drink a lot of water because salt. You have a lot of salt buildup. Women deal with that salt buildup.
Oh yeah.
In their system.
My wife definitely do it a lot because her hands are getting numb and they'll get a little bit of swelling. Feet used to swell at times, and that's when she knows that she's getting too much sodium in her body. So I'm a big believer in water. But now I only get spring water. I go up to the mountain, and I generally get 40 gallons until it's empty. That's where we started the last maybe 4 or 5 years or more. So, try to save a little bit of peanuts on water out the store. And get God's water, okay? It comes straight out the mountain. So, yeah, but I love it. But I ain't going to hold you. I seem like I can talk all day because we got so much alike. We working for the kingdom. We trying to do what we got to do. I'm going to put your contact information in there when you get all your TikTok information set up. Are you going to do a Facebook or Instagram, or you going to get your daughter to hook all that stuff up for you? I think they all can connect when you do get it up.
Right. So if they would like to contact me, they can email me too.
Okay. Well, I'll put your email. I'll put your email down there and your TikTok information down there for inquiries. So what's one of the main questions that you used to get? Just in your profession in general, something to leave them with so they can contact you about if they have that question.
In my profession? Okay, in my spiritual life coaching session is really my niche, I guess you could say, in that in the coaching aspect is purpose, your life's purpose. I try to help people to find their purpose.
Come on now.
And
you better preach it now. We on the same mission. I tell you that now. And it's the same exact thing, letting them find their purpose, and you find enjoyment when they discover it. It's no better feeling. So, yeah, I love it.
Some people just need a prophetic word here and there. I will pray with you, and if the Lord gives me a word, I will give you that word that He has for you.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I appreciate you. I will appreciate you, and hopefully we'll reconnect when your eye get healed and go from there. But I'll let you know when I'll get all the information together, and before I actually put it out, I'll reach it and contact you.
Okay, I appreciate that, and I thank you for having me on as a guest on the podcast.
Anytime. It was our pleasure. Stay blessed, stay safe, and keep inspiring others out there.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Talk to you.